All right, guys, the last couple of videos I talked about carbs. This video I'm going to talk about protein. All right, I take in more protein than most people. I recommend you take in more protein than most people. Why do I think it's so important? All right, first of all, let me just say what I've said before about carbs. There are essential amino acids, okay? There are essential fatty acids. So that means that you will die if you do not take in certain kinds of fat. You will die if you do not take in certain kinds of protein. There are no essential carbs. So obviously the first reason you need to take in protein at all is because you will die if you don't have it. There are essential amino acids your body needs or you will die. Number one. Number two, it's used to build muscle, okay? I'm not going to talk about the sources of the protein. I'm not going to talk about the amounts of protein. Everybody with half a brain agrees you do need protein to build muscle. So if you're an athlete, trying to improve your performance, you need to build and maintain muscle. If you're trying to look good, trying to have big muscles, you need obviously to build and maintain muscle. Even if all you care about is health and longevity, one of the biggest problems with aging is you lose strength and muscle mass as you go along. So obviously, the more strength and muscle mass you have before this decline starts to a certain point, the more you're going to have as you get older. Okay, and so go into a nursing home, look at some 70-plus-year-olds, and then look at Sylvester Stallone, and you'll see the difference. Okay, now let's start talking about some kind of like off the beaten path reasons that I like to use protein for that most people don't consider. Okay, you need to eat something. Okay, and carbohydrates do not satiate your hunger very well. Okay, in my opinion, fat satiates your hunger better than anything else. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of scientists say that protein satiates the best, but the bottom line is you have to eat something, okay, to have something in your stomach. So if you're going on a cutting diet, for reasons I'm about to explain, you can take in a lot of protein, okay, which will keep give you something to eat, it will keep your stomach full, it will satiate your hunger, but it will not get you fat. Okay, so especially if you're doing a cutting diet, you need to take in a lot of protein, maybe even more than you need for muscle building. You need to take in even more just for the fact that it satiates your hunger and allows you to stay on the diet, allows you to have a little bit of energy, allows you to feel less bad, okay? Now, why is it that I said that you can take in protein without getting fat, okay? Carbohydrates, as I discussed in my other video, they only have one real purpose, okay? You fill up your muscle glycogen stores, okay? The stores of carbs, the stores of sugar, whatever, in your muscles that you're going to use, okay, for the next time that you are physically active. If you go over that amount, it's going to spill over and be stored as body fat, okay? Another problem with carbohydrates is a lot of people like me, for instance, are actually addicted to carbohydrates, okay? I could overeat, past the point of satiating my hunger, past the point of becoming sick, being full. I can eat until I vomit, okay? I'm an addict when it comes to carbohydrates, and a lot of people are like that, okay? But you don't eat protein for fun, okay? You do not eat protein for fun. And another thing about protein is that it is really hard to store protein as body fat. It's really hard to burn protein for energy, okay? As a matter of fact, it is so difficult to process protein, whether it's storing it for body fat or using it for energy, that there's something called the thermogenic effect of food, which basically means that just by eating protein, you're burning calories just dealing with the protein in your body, okay? So protein is difficult to store as fat, which means it's hard to get fat eating protein. It's hard to burn for energy, which means if you're on a calorie deficit and you're eating protein, your body's not going to be burning the protein, it's going to be burning the stored body fat, okay, for energy, because it's difficult to get energy out of protein, okay? Another thing that largely comes up in terms of a cutting diet, which is why, once again, regardless of what kind of a diet dogma you follow, a lot of people increase their protein when they're cutting, is that it helps protect muscle. One of the things that everyone's afraid of is when they go into a calorically deficient diet, they go into they go into such a major caloric deficit that they're afraid they're going to start burning their muscle, okay, tissue for energy. Well, the more protein you take in your meals, the less likely it is that you're going to burn muscle tissue, okay? So those are some of the reasons why I recommend taking in more protein than most other people. Like I said, first of all, I feel great taking in at least 1.5 grams per pound of goal body weight in terms of protein. That's what I take in. I don't feel like I increase my strength as well if I take in less, okay? But even beyond the concept of using it to build muscle, the fact is you need to eat something. Eating more protein will make it difficult for you to store it as body fat, difficult for you to burn it as energy, so you have to burn more body fat, and it will satiate your hunger, okay? And it will protect your muscles from being catabolized, okay, and used for energy. So those are all reasons beyond building muscle that protein is such an excellent food to take in, not just when you're trying to build muscle, but also when you're trying to cut body fat, okay? It's why it's, the basis of every single diet, whether you're building, maintaining, losing, whether you're aesthetic, appearance-based, performance-based, or just health-based. Protein should always be at the base of every single diet, the first thing that you consider when you create a new diet, and those are the reasons. Speaking of diets, if you want to know exactly how to use protein and also how to plan a diet with protein, carbs, and fat, check out one of the 2 diets that I have down below. I have my Anaerobics Diet 3.0, which is a targeted carbohydrate diet. That means if you're a hard training athlete, you're doing high intensity sprint-like work, and you need carbohydrates, it will show you exactly how much protein, how much fat to take in, and how to strategically add carbohydrates to maximize your performance. If you're not the kind of person who's doing like an athletic type of pursuit, who just wants to either be healthy or you want to like lift weights, increase muscle mass, increase strength, but you don't do a whole lot of sprint type work, then check out my low carb cutting and bulking program. It will show you how to manipulate your fat, calorie, and your protein intake with both my low carb lean bulking diet and my pure protein diet. So it will allow you to either maintain your weight, to cut a lot of fat quickly, or to slowly add muscle while staying lean. All right, check them out down in the description below. Any questions, let me know what other questions you'd like me to answer, because I really want to do some more of these just basic nutrition videos covering like the basic macronutrients and things like that. Other than that, check out the diets. I will see you guys in the next video.